Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Andy Shed Live. This is Series 10, episode number 16 for Sunday the 10th of April 2022. Hello there and welcome to the show. I hope the week has treated you well. Just a little bit late tonight, but we're here. Better late than never, as they say. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit croaky today. I've had a bit of a headache today and whatnot, but don't worry, I've took my COVID test and it's come back negative, so hopefully I'm reasonably okay. Who have we got in the chat room? We've got Christopher, we've got Jimmy, we've got Penfold, we've got Gambo, and we've got Wesley. Remember, if you want to join in the live chat, you can do over there on YouTube, but if it comes up with top chat, just tweak it until it comes up with live chat, because for some reason top chat doesn't show you everything. No idea why, but it doesn't, and it always comes up as top chat by default for some reason as well. If you're watching after the event, of course, you can keep up what's going on in the chat room there, somewhere there. Yeah, right. Okie dokie, we will crack on, shall we? Right, yes, we've had one or two things happen over the last couple of weeks or so. You will remember that if you were watching last week that I have acquired an electric car. Still working. I've not run out of electricity anywhere out on the road yet. So it's all good so far. Still working. And you may know that when I went to pick up the electric car, I also went past a junk shop sort of thing, a second-hand shop, and ended up with two more telephones. It doesn't stop there though, because coming through the post also came this. So that arrived in the post, but it wasn't on its own, because when it came, this came with it. And when that came, this came with it as well. Bring out a desk, and also, so they didn't get lonely, this one also came with it. So 4 ivory phones there, if you lost count, and I believe all 8746s. Alright, so let's have a little look what we have got. This one that's on the top here, an 8746G, manufacturer DFM from 1982. Oh, you can't see that, can you? It's the light shining in it. DFM 82. So that's one of them. Another one of them, 8746G, again DFM 82.2. So another 8746. Next up, we've got, oh, this is a straight up 746 Gen 8002. This is a straight up 746, this one. If you can read that on the back of there. 8002. But although it's not an 8746, it has got a modern plug on it. Right. And finally, what's this one? This is also a straight up 746 from 81. From 1981. Manufacturer EET is the code on that one. And again, although it's 746, it's got a plug on it. So we've got 4 of them. So what I thought we'd do tonight will be to have a look inside some of these. Basically, I want to take line cords and things off, because as you will see, they're absolutely filthy, so they need a wash. So we'll try a bit of the old line cord scrubbing, I think, today. Right, what is everybody up to in the chat? Everybody's saying hello to everybody else. Wesley says DFM is Dennis Ferranti, the manufacturer for those ones, which is one of the many manufacturers of 746 phones and other phones as well for the post office there. Wesley says, apologies if I'm quiet here, I'm trying to multitask. Crikey, good luck with that, Wesley. If you manage it, you're doing better than me. I can't do that at all. Penfold says, do you have to carry a small petrol generator in the boot of your electric car in case of an emergency charge up? No. But you could. You could. I think they call that a hybrid, don't they? I've always wondered about having a milk float and putting a generator on the back of a milk float. That's something I've always wondered about. Yeah, nobody has any faith in the electric car, do they? It's amazing. So many people go, oh, aren't you worried about running out of charge? Well, go on in your petrol car, aren't you worried about running out of petrol? It's only the same difference. Gambo says that some of these 746s may have been converted on the red sticker and the labels fell off. No sign of the label, Gambo. Normally when that happens and the label falls off, there is a bit of sort of sticky residue of the label, but there isn't any on these, so I don't know. I don't quite know what happened. So let's have a little look at them, shall we, and see what we can do. Another interesting thing, somebody said to me some time ago, on an 8746, they said the case is a particular type of case. You can tell it's an 8746. They said, can't remember who said it now, they said, look at those holes in the back. They said, and if it's like that, with sort of 5 big vertical slats with kind of a grill behind them, then it's an 8746. But that doesn't necessarily hold true, because one of these is an 8746. Yeah, look, this one, look, is an 8746, if you can see that. And that's got the normal blank slots without the sort of grill thing moulded behind them. So it can be either way, it would appear. Right, let's see what we can do then, shall we? Right, stick that on there, and we'll, can I twist that camera a bit? Yes, I can, so you can see what's going on. Right, I don't think I'm going to try. I've found a sucker So I'm going to try the sucker instead of my usual sticky tape today. So just basically lick your finger, a bit on the sucker, stick it on there, and it does work. It does pull it off. So that is that. This is absolutely filthy, this phone. I don't know if you can see this. It's absolutely angry. It really is. So we need to do something about this one. So I think we'll take the finger wheel off, because that looks like it all needs a wash. So just look at the state of that. Oh, it's all stuck together. Ugh. Ugh. It's like somebody's dribbled chip fat all over it. Right. Shall we see if we can get the case off? Now undo the screw in the back. Oh, and it's retained. It's retained, that's a good sign. And we'll lift the case off, like so. And that could do with a scrub. And first thing you notice, it's a genuine 8746 because it's got 2000 ohm bell coils in it. I can now get that off there. Have you ever seen one that filthy? Isn't that good? Right. So that will be going for a wash. As well that bit. As well the cords, I think. So we'll undo the line cord. Yeah, one. Another one, those that was screwed together by Jeff Capes, this one. 3. 4. So there's the line cord off it. Oops, there's the line cord off it. So that now needs a wash, because as you can see it's absolutely filthy. So we'll give that a wash. We'll give the case a wash, finger wheel and dial plate. So just bear with me a second while I go and find some soapy water. Right, I'll bring it in here and do it. Right, so here's my bowl of soapy water, as you can see now. So basically what I've got to do is just try and clean things up a bit. Right, I've got this kind of weird sort of slightly abrasive scourer thing here, and the easy way to do this is just drop the whole lot in. You know, dunk it all in there. You'll not hurt it. So there you go. Might have made this water a bit hot. It's a bit too hot to put your hands in. These cases have got some damage by the looks of it. This one's got a crack in an unusual place. It's got a crack in the back corner. There. And it's also got a crack in the front corner. So there's going to be a bit of crack repair going on with this one, I think. We'll remove the bezel for now. So there's one bit. Put it on the floor for now. Now, although they are in disgusting state, I do like finding them like this, because it means chances are they've not been messed with, at least not recently. You know, if they've got years and years of built up grime on them, you know, they've probably not been touched and messed around with for years and years and years. So, to me, the dirtier they are, the better, kind of thing. So, there is the case. Right, now for the exciting bit. The very dirty finger wheel. It's actually cleaned up reasonably well. And this. And these normally clean up very well, because of course the printing is actually on the back of a clear plastic disc, so it's actually on this side, so that side is okay. So all the numbers on that are protected by the plastic surface. Now for the difficult bit. The line cord. the hardest bit is the grommet. Get the grommet something like. But then what you basically do is you just use plenty of water and just work your way down the cord like that. And this has got something purple on it. If it's purple ink or something, but it's not wanting to come off that. Like things normally come off, but as long as we get some of the dirt off, I'm not too worried about the purple ink or whatever it is. But you can see the difference there between the bit I've done and the bit I've not done yet. Just untangle it if I can. I hope it's tidy or not, I think. I was talking to the fella from Brickphone a few weeks ago, and he was on about trim phones, and he's got a load of trim phones that he's refurbishing, and he says, I'm going to put new line cords on them all. He says, I've thrown the old ones away because they were so filthy, he says. And now they're going, no, you've thrown all the original line cords and that away, curly cords, just because they were dirty. Well, there you go. Almost as good as new. So that's one. So that is the concept of what we do. I will put my bowl of water to one side a minute. Right, and I shall return like that. And then we can start drying things off and putting things back together. So, what's everybody up to in the chat? Oh, we've got Ian Smith with us. Gambo's here. Hello everybody. Ian says, I bought a 746 last week from 1969. It must be 4 to 5 centimeters thick with dust inside. Keep meaning to put a pic on the forum, but not a chance. Yeah, stick a picture up here. Yeah, like I say, the dirtier they are, the better, because it basically means they've not been messed with. So yeah, it's always better when they're filthy, really, because it means they're They've not been restored in quotation marks. Restored. Right. So we've got various bits now. Just want a little bit of drying off. I'm used to using a bit of paper kitchen towel here to dry them off. But I'm always amazed how a bit of washing up liquid and water, how shiny it brings up the finger wheels. You would think the finger wheels, being clear plastic, you would think they'd get really scratched up on that over the years, but they don't seem to. They must be very resilient plastic that they're made out of. Very resilient plastic. Where are we? So that one of yours has got a Mark 1 case on it then, Ian. That's good. That's as it should be. The question is, at that age, did it or did it not have the alphanumeric bezel on it? Because at that point, some did and some didn't have the alphanumeric bezel when they were new. Fattlebit says, you ought to patent soapy water as Andy's miracle fluid. Yeah, I did, didn't I? I think somebody else might have patented it. I think it was Nanette Newman patented soapy water. If you don't know who Nanette Newman is, ask your mum. Right, next bit. The case, the cracked case. It looks so much better already. It's almost like new again. There is a bit of darkening on it. I call it fading, but of course it's not fading because it's gone darker, not lighter. You can see just a little bit across there, and of course you can see a lot around where the dial bezel's been sitting. Colour it was originally, colour it is now. But you know, the thing about this darkening is, if it's gone fairly evenly all over it, and it's not too bad, I tend to live with it rather than try to alter it, try to take it back. I just basically try and live with it, because to be honest, things like Retro Bright last too short, and it never works for me, Retro Bright anyway. The only way I've had any success doing it is by totally doing the surface restoration with acetone, and that does take a little bit of the plastic off the surface, but it takes a lot of doing. It's more worth doing with grey foams that tend to go that horrible brown colour, but with these, unless they've gone on one side only, it looks silly. I tend to leave them, particularly if they've just gone this nice sort of buttermilky sort of colour. I tend to leave it. So that's that, and then I've got, what else have I got down here? I've got the cord, and I've got the bezel. So here's the bezel. There we go. Dropped it on the floor, that'll be good, won't it? Have you noticed I always drop something? Every week I drop something. Right, that can go back on there. Then we have to line these four things up to get the bezel back on. and then twist it so the little cutout in the bezel lines up with the cutout in the foam, so about there, like that. Right, cord. There we are. One cord. That we do like so. It's difficult to do something and switch cameras at the same time as you're actually doing something productive. You need an editor or something with cameras, which a vision mixer. I need a vision mixer. Petrol says, I saw a few Ivory 746s with matching handset number 17, neon and volume control on eBay. I only thought handset 17s came in grey. Not sure which a handset 17 is, because you say it's got the neon and the volume control. Because you did get some handsets that had only got the neon, and you did get some that had only got the volume control. And I have certainly seen the neon, because I've got neon on a black handset, grey handsets and ivory handsets, and I think I've seen volume controls on black, grey and ivory as well. But volume control and neon, I'm not sure what colours I've seen that on. But you could certainly get one or the other on black, grey and ivory. But I'm not sure about both. Right. Okie dokie. So I think we've cleaned that up. Now I know you're wondering about the handset. I've not taken the handset off at this stage just because it's a bit of a pain with the handset undoing the cord here and the handset. It's just a bit of a pain to do that. We've got the later pepper pot type thing on there. There's a date on that. Yeah, 81-1, so that looks like the original one. Nice and clean inside that. I wonder if we've got an electronic microphone in the other end. Yeah, we have. So that might hum. We covered this a few weeks ago, but if you get these electronic microphones and they hum, the actual official fix for it is to replace them with the carbon granule one. There's no other way of doing it apparently. Right, okay, so we've cleaned the case on this one, 3 more to go. We've cleaned the case on that on this one, so we will put this one back together. Then I'll do the handset at a later date, but I've got it enough now that to put it back together and have a look and see if the thing works. So we will stick a few connections back on. So red to T8, this is a line cord. White somewhere on 16, 17, 18 and 19. I normally go on 18. See what I mean about dropping everything? Yeah. Green, we just park it on T15. That's got nothing else on it. Because green is unused. and blue goes on T6. And of course there's no resistor in this between T4 and 5. There's no resistor there because there's a link but no resistor because it's got 2000 ohm bell coils fitted to it. So that's it, and for some reason I've never figured out why it is that they do this thing about all these for the curly cords that are basically over this side of the phone. They make you stretch them and put it on that side, and all your line cord connections, which are basically on this side of the phone, they make you stretch it and put it over here. If anybody knows why that is, let me know, because I've never quite understood that really. Right, and at that stage we can probably put the case back on. So we've got a few cracks in this, haven't we? Shall we do the cracks while we've got it off? Shall we see what we can do about the cracks? Yeah, we might as well, hadn't we? Got the acetone here, so I'll move this out of the way a minute. And I will get my pound shop acetone. It has to be 100% acetone, or at very least 99% acetone. This says 99% acetone on it, but it is basically pure acetone. Then we have a paintbrush. That we use for the acetone, and the idea here is to get it inside the crack and then to paint over the surface, so we're moving the plastic across the crack. Okay, so we open it up and try and drop some acetone inside the crack. And this is where what's going to happen, and we'll put a bit on the inside as well, and this is where it will sort of colour restore on this corner, so I might end up having to colour restore the whole phone. And what we want to do, I can still see that crack, so what we want to do is make that crack totally disappear by moving the plastic. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? We want to move the plastic from one side of the crack to the other, so it actually goes in the crack, some of the plastic, tiny amount of the plastic. Keep picking up more acetone because you're wanting to liquefy this area of the phone. And I don't know if you can see, that crack has almost totally disappeared. Now, as the acetone evaporates, it might come back. Can you? Right now, show you that up close. I can get it in focus. There's the crack, look, when I push it. together, it's still just visible. You can actually see it on that camera more than I can, looking at it in reality, but it is still there a bit. If I let it go a minute, it kind of opens up a bit. So you're just dragging a bit of the plastic across to just fill up the crack. You're just liquefying the plastic in that localized area. Just to try and fill up the crack, and I think I've more or less got it now. And you see now, I know it's not a smooth surface, but the crack has gone, hasn't it? You can't see the crack anymore. I know the surface is not smooth, but you can't see the crack anymore, and that's what we're trying to achieve. So that's good. And we've got cracks on all corners of this. I wonder if it didn't hit on the top. We've got another one on this corner, you see. Bit of acetone on the inside, bit of acetone on the outside. And I push it together, a bit of liquefied plastic squirts out the crack. That is good. That shows that something's happening. Right. So now, again, dragging across the crack. Until hopefully the crack disappears. What are people up to in the chat? Gambo says, I had a big box saved of red mics, 20 plus, and my daughter binned them thinking they were rubbish. I've no say in what goes in the bin. Oh dear. It could have been worse. She could have binned carbon granule ones, because after hearing about all the trouble with these electronic microphones, I'm starting to think the carbon granule ones are better. Because they do at least work. I ought to get on the repair shop doing this, didn't I? I could have a nice summer at the Weald Downlands Museum in that barn. I'm not sure. I think they did one telephone once. I think they did one telephone. I think Steve did it. But they don't have an expert for telephones, do they? Right, I think that's done. Right, there's one on the back somewhere, isn't there? here on this back corner. Hold it together while the bit squishes out the middle and it just sets a minute. And while all that's happening, I will just have a look again in the old chat, see what people have been up to. Oh, Jimmy's had to leave us. Bye, Jimmy. His Wi-Fi's playing up, so we'll catch up later. Ian Smith says those microphones have a problem with every one. I wonder if it's because he's on a VoIP line. It shouldn't be, Ian, but I don't know. It's interference generally with some other piece of equipment, as I understand it. So it's probably not the fact that you're on a VoIP line, but it could be the equipment the VoIP line uses. That's the problem. So I don't think it's the VoIP line. I think it's the equipment maybe they've given you to connect you to the VoIP line that may be the problem. Or it could be just something else in the house, you know, like a TV or whatever. It could be anything. But this digital voice, I hear it's been paused, this rollout of the basically the VoIP system, because they've realised after Storm Arwen that it requires electrical power, and if your electricity goes out in an emergency, in like a natural disaster or whatever, they've realised that you lose your phones as well. And of course people say, oh, we've got mobiles these days, but of course in something like a natural disaster, you know, your power goes out, your mobiles go out too. So for now, digital voice, I'm told, has been paused, which can only be good news. It'll never catch on anyway. All this computer nonsense, it'll never catch on. Right. Oh, that one there, I can still see the joint. That one there. So, re-liquefy that. So as it's drying, the joints sometimes reappear. And that was the first one that I did. So, just brush a bit more. Acetone over it, and hopefully it'll disappear again. That one has appeared as well. It's stuck it together, but the crack has reappeared because the acetone has dried out from it. So although it's stuck together now, it's now just a matter of Really trying to disguise the crack. Whereas it says it's only a matter of time before the digital voice will be in place. They won't want to support the legacy exchange equipment, which at some point won't be supported by the manufacturer. Well, what you have to do is when they come to digital voice, say, well, can I still use my old equipment? And if they say we don't know, or they say no, say, right, I'm not going to be your customer anymore then. On your bike. Tell them to clear off. And if enough people do that, and tell them to clear off, they'll soon think twice about going VoIP. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a VoIP system, but it can go wrong. You know, and the big problem with it is it does need power. You know, it needs an external power source. And that's the big issue with it, because telephones are often used in an emergency. And if the said emergency is something that's knocked out your power, like your building's been on fire, or there's been some kind of weather disaster like a hurricane, or like they have the tornadoes in America, of course, then you know, they need to do something about that. You know, they need a system that doesn't rely on external power. Right, I think we've about got it. So, I think we've now done that. So there. That's better, isn't it? Right, I'll clean my brush out of it. Get some of the acetone off it. Your brush will probably go hard as it dries, but next time you dip it in the acetone, it'll soon soften it up again. So just because the brush has gone hard, don't throw it away. Right. Gambo says, I've sent you another load of pics of another weird phone, but only part of it. But to your Gmail account. Right, I shall have a look, Gambo. I haven't managed to get back into Gmail. Google has deigned to let me back in, so I have managed to get back to it. Right, so while that sets a bit, right, let's pick this phone up again. Now I can put that back on this would probably be a good time to test the dial, wouldn't it? See if the dial is running at the speed it should be running at. So I can just test it without putting it together. Yeah, that's not bad actually. So for now we'll put the clip back in. There. I think this should be setting off now because the acetone dries really quick. Now the problem is there now, it's got a bit of a flat on that corner because where I've moved the plastic a little bit too much possibly. So I might have to make up some plastic slurry with a bit of scrap plastic and just build that corner up again. But for now we can put this back together and then we can try it. Screw goes back in the back, dial back together, screw back in the dial, making sure you've got the correct screw, remember, to match whatever sort of finger wheel you've got. If the hole in the middle of the finger wheel is countersunk, you need a countersunk screw. Well, luckily on this one it's flat and the screw is flat as well. But don't put a countersunk screw into a flat hole or a flat back screw into a countersunk hole because you'll end up cracking the finger wheel. And both sorts are out there, so you have to be very careful that you've got the right combination together. One 1001. Yeah, that's about right. So we will now put that on there and move this back across, don't it now? Oop, there we go. So that's back on there. Right, I should now be able to plug in my cord. We'll see if we get anywhere. Right. So I've got an extension here all ready to go. I plug that into it, and then using the phone that is sat on the desk that you can't see at the moment but is here, I can dial number 23 and the phone we've just restored should ring. And it does. How about that? So now we'll do it the other way around. I will ring on this phone, dial 21 on this phone we've just restored, and that phone rings. And then we do the old trick of blowing into one and listening in the other, so we know it's working. So listen in the ivory one and blow into the black one, and I can hear that in the ivory. Right, all the way around. Yeah, it works. So that phone now works. So I've just got to clean up the handset cord and the handset itself on that, and then that will be a good one basically. So I will stick the dial opal back in for now, plonk it back in like that, Actually, that doesn't feel very... That's a bit loose, that. Have I not screwed it in enough? That's better. That's better. There we go. All good. That one. All good. So I will now put that one to one side. Do what I normally do. I wrap the line cord around it. Unplug it. It does still need a bit of a rebuild on that corner. That was the worst corner, and it does need the plastic building up a bit on there. So I'll have to make up some plastic slurry with some acetone, some scrap plastic, and build that corner up a bit. So that's that one. Shall we have a look at another one? Right, this one is a 746F EET from 1981. And this one, shall we have a look inside this one? So put my sucker on. Does that come off? Yeah, it does. And there's a very faded number there. And on the back somebody's made it out of a bit of card. It says PT book carbon. Oh, it's receipt book, isn't it? With carbon or something like that. PT is a PT of receipt. So it's the cover of a receipt book they used to make the down label. And I tend to leave these things in there these days. You know, I put my own sort of dial labels in as well, but I tend to leave the old ones in there these days underneath them, just as a little Easter egg for the next person to find. Right, this case is very badly cracked all over the place, and it's got a big chunk out of a corner. I may change this case because it's not like I haven't got any spare ones. But let's have a look inside it for now. So we undo the spring, undo the screw. Is there a spring? There is a spring there. Doesn't want to come out though, but I don't think there's a nut. Right. It doesn't want to come off past the finger wheel either, so I'm going to take the finger wheel off while we get the case off. I could probably force it over it, but we don't want to break anything. Again, it's a flat backed screw in a flat hole. So there we go. And there's no nut, but is the nut rolling around somewhere on the inside? The nut that should be on the end of that to retain it. Is it rolling around on the inside somewhere? So I'll put the case to one side. And give it a shake around. Nope. So obviously missing the nut for that one. Totally missing. So yeah, now what is this? Did I say this is an 8746? No, right, this is interesting because this one is just a 746, so it's 746F, made in 1981, so it's about at the changeover where they were going for the new system, where they were becoming 8746s. So it's a 746, but even though it is just a 746, it is wired 4 plug and socket as an 8746, and again no resistor. So I'm assuming they've changed the bell coils for 2000 ohm coils. Unfortunately, on this particular type of coil, it doesn't tell you. It's not got it written on. But I'm assuming they're going to be 2000 ohm coils on that one. So, although it says 746, actually, internally, it is an 8746. It's not a 746 that's been converted because it's not got the resistor in there. Technically it is an 8746. So I wonder if it is an 8746. It's just that the first ones, they'd already got the bases made and stamped 746, so they just left them. It's also interesting, this one, because it's got the earlier type of cap on the handset. See if we can find a date on this, if I can undo it. Oh, blimey. Jeez. I can't undo it. Crikey. Who's put this together? Somebody once said just tap them on the desk and it kind of breaks the seal, but oh, yeah, they might be right. Yeah. So yeah, is there a date on there? 80/1 DAE 1980. So that's about right in terms of time. Let's have a look at the other end. Oh, can't get that end off either. Oh, tap that end on the desk then. Oh dear me. Are people gluing these together before they send them to me these days? I never used to have this problem. God, you have to take the word for what's in there. I can't get that open at all, that one. The first one I've ever had that's totally defeated me. It's not like we haven't got a load of handsets kicking about. So yes. So that's another one. So I'm not going to go through the whole washing of the thing again, because we have kind of just done that. But this case is not very good. It's got a chunk out the corner there, and it's cracked up here as well. This one, I don't know if you can see, but there's a crack there, and there's also a crack running down here from the hole where the hook switch pokes through. So yeah, Not a brilliant case, that one. So, yeah. In the longer term, we may change that one, that case. But for now, I'm just going to stick it back on, like that. And see where we end up. So I'll just stick it back together for now. Now there is a remains of a spring in there, but no nut on the other end. So not quite sure what's happened there, because if there's a spring you would think there's a nut. But do not do those up too tight, otherwise you can't get them out again. Yeah, so we'll clean this one up another day. I'll just put it back together for now. So you get the idea of what I've got to do with these, and it's just a case of methodically going through them with my bowl of soapy water, and hopefully they will clean up. I'll put the very faded dial label back in, made out of the bit of receipt book, and there we have it. So we'll just test it, see if it works while we're here. I'm not so sure if this one is going to work or not, because on its cord it's got this bit that is suspiciously wrapped up with insulating tape. So I'm not so sure what's going to happen. What I'll probably end up doing, if that is a bad joint in there, I'll cut the cord here and put a new plug on it, and it will just then be a shorter line cord, and the other bit that's left here is long enough that I can make that into another line cord as well, utilising the original plug. Never throw anything away, but for now let's just see if it works. So I'll get my finger purpose again, plug it in, microphone, dial it. Oh yeah, that seems to work. So again, we'll try that the other way around. Dial 21. Yeah, seems to work. Or of course, the other way of dialing it is to go and tap out the number on the hook switch. So yeah, it seems to work, that one, so that's good. And that one, yeah, that's it. None of these are Mark 1 cases, unfortunately. I don't think any of them are really old phones. I think they are sort of all from the early 80s. You know, they're not older ones that have been refurbed. They are what they are, sort of thing. And we have a look at another one. Right, here's another one. This one has got something rattling about inside it. 746 Gen 80/2. So Gen, G-E-N, is that a GEC code, Gen? I can never remember the manufacturer codes. Never remember them. Right, so we're going to have a look inside this one. And because there's something rattling about in there, so it's got its what would appear to be its original dial label for Morton in Marsh. This one, and the handset is all tangled up. Untwist that a bit. We'll again take the finger wheel off. Crikey, that's been really rammed in there. I bet this is going to not be the right screw in the centre of here in a minute, because this feels like somebody just put a random self-tapping screw in, because it's very, very tight. Perhaps it is the right screw. It's very tight in there though. Right. So now we'll undo the screw in the back. Now this has been screwed in too far and tightened up. Now if it's not got a spring behind it, this is one that will not come out. But because it would have gone past the threads on the screw, but it is coming out, so it probably does have a spring behind it. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. The spring is there. On there, you see the little spring. You see the little spring on there, and that pushes the screw out, because the screw has only got threads on the tip. And if that screw goes into the phone too far, you see how it's only threaded on the tip. If that goes into the phone too far and you've not got that spring on to help push it out, what happens is it goes beyond the threads, and you know, the threaded bit is then inside the phone, not in the plastic, and then no matter how much you turn it, you can't unscrew it. It needs a spring to push it out to sort of engage the threads again. But luckily that one has got the spring on it. And I've got a feeling we might find the screw inside as well in a minute on this one, because there is something rattling about in there. Now, what has happened here that I can't get the case off, even though I've took the bloody finger wheel off? Oh, this is very tight. That's it. Very tight, that. This case, oh, it's got a tiny crack on that corner there, but it is tiny. But apart from that, it looks good, that one. I'll stick it up there a minute. And there was something rattling about in here. Ooh, well, a lot of writing on those bell coils. Oh, and there it is. There's the nut. That is the little nut with a big hole in one side and a little hole in the other side. And never quite sure which way around it's supposed to go, because that way, you see, it will go on so far. I think it's supposed to go a little hole into the screw, the actual threaded end into the screw, so you can screw it all the way on, you see, but then you can't screw it on too far, because now the threaded bit on there is now inside the nut, beyond the threads in the nut, because the threads only go part way through the nut. So now I can push that all the way in, you see, and it springs back out again, and that's what the spring is for, so that when it comes back out and you try and undo it, you've got purchase on this nut. So that one's putting back together like that. On the case. So we take that. So nut in one end, machine screw and spring in the other hand. Machine screw and spring are inserted from the outside. I'm dropping things again. Machine screw and spring are inserted from the outside. Nut, small hole first, I believe, inserted from the inside. And that's it. Like that. That holds it together. Right. So let's have a little look inside here while we're here. What does it say on these coils? Oh, it's got like a part number. 098670/AS 500 ohms. So this one is a 746 from 1980. This has got the original type 500 ohm coils, but this one is also wired up as a 8746. As you can see, 16, 17, 18 and 19 are joined together. T4, 5 and 6 are joined together. Blue of the bell coil is there. Where does the blue coming in come to? Oh, it's coming in on there. That's that blue wire there is the one that goes up the line cord. It's coming in there. Now I would normally put it on T6. They've put it on T5 in this case, but it's got a link in there. Now that is wrong. That should have a resistor in there, because it's 500 ohm coils wired up like a 8746, but an 8746 would have 2000 ohm coils. So in an 8746, the value of the coils, the ohms passing through the coils, adds up to 4000 ohms, yeah, or 4 kilo ohms. This, it only adds up to 1000 ohms or 1 kilo ohm. So you basically need to find another 3000 ohms in the bell circuit somewhere. So here's one of your blue wires to going to up to your bell. Actually, the ones that go between the circuit board and the bell coil can be any colour. They just use up whatever bit of wire they had at the time, I think. I've seen them purple and all sorts. So what you should do in there, so it goes in the circuit, that link wants to come out, and ideally a 3 1000 ohm resistor putting in, but because of the values they make resistors in, I don't think they actually make a 3000 ohm resistor, so the nearest you can get is a 3.3. Is it 3.3? I forget myself now, but anyway, it's the nearest you can get to it to 4000 ohms, so it's just over 4000. It's 4300, isn't it? 3.3 kilo ohms in total, so 3.3 kilo ohms there, 1000 ohms or 1 kilo ohm there, so in total in your bell coil circuit you've got 4.3 kilo ohms or 4300 ohms, which is about right, give or take 300 ohms. So this phone is wrong, and it's interesting because it looks fairly original, but it's wrong. The way it's wired at the minute, that is wrong. It definitely needs a resistor in it. So that's why you always check on. Right, so but we'll do that at some point down the line, but for now I'm just going to put it back together again. Will this go back on? It was very tight to come off. Well, it's gone back on a lot easier than it came off actually. Do up the now retained screw. Like that. And put that back on. It'll probably work, but it's just that there might not be enough power in the line to ring any other phones if you've got it on a system where you've got multiple phones on there. So again, it needs a bit of work, but don't they always when they come in? So I'll put this screw back in here. Put that back in for Morton LeMarche. Put that back on. 1001. Well, that one's a bit slow. That one, probably a bit of oil will sort it out. That. Right. So you've got the basic idea. I was on the wrong camera there, wasn't I? I think. Right. You've got the basic idea anyway. Of what we're doing. So sometime in the not too distant future I've got a few phones to do a bit of tinkering with. But they were less than a tenner a phone, so all good. Right. I've been neglecting the chat a bit tonight. I'm very sorry about that. What's everybody been up to? Oh, Fungi is here. Hello, Fungi. Gambo says, when you picked one of your phones up, something rattled inside. Not sure what one it was. It must have been that one that I've just done, Gambo. It must have been that. No, I noticed it as well. So it was that nut probably inside that one. Oops, what have we done? And he said, not sure about the numbers on handsets. He just remembers buying 3 handsets that had a black sliding volume control as well as a light thing in the middle of the handsets. It shouldn't be a sliding volume control, it should be a rotating volume control. It's black generally, and it may look a bit like a slider because with the wheel being inside the handset, there's only sort of a small section of the wheel you can see, but it's like a knurled wheel, and you know, you run your finger across it and it turns the wheel. So actually it's a wheel, not a slider. If it is actually a slider that you've got something unusual, but generally it's a wheel. Funny says, I've got a couple of handsets that only have the light, neon. He thinks, yeah, it is neon, and yeah, you can get them with just the light. You can also get them with just the volume control, and you can also get them with both. But what I don't know is what colours those different variants were all done in. I've got a feeling they were probably all done in grey, ivory and black, but I don't know for certain. Fungi says, I've got over 200 phones up in the loft, and to be honest, struggle to recall what the heck is up there. You know something? I know the feeling. I've got no idea. I was over 200 last time I had a rough count up, but it must be over 300 now. It might even be 400. Well, he says, seeing that case is damaged, Andy, I wonder where you might get another case. Oh, I've got an idea where to get a case, Wesley. Yes, rolling about laughing, yeah. I know where there might be a case or two. Wesley says, I just run the phones under the hot tap, just let them dry out before using them. What, the whole phone? I suppose you could. I'd be worried about something inside going a bit rusty though. That's what would worry me about that. But having said that, there's a guy I used to see on YouTube. I don't know what his channel name was. I've got one of these smart TVs that's got the YouTube app on it, and you just watch the videos basically. You can't interact, you can't do chat or anything like that. So it just suggests videos to you. And if you watch somebody's video, even if you're not logged in or anything, it will suggest videos from that person again in the future. And there was somebody I found on there who restored all kinds of electronic devices, often radios and radio cassettes and things like that. And he used to find them in the muddy bank at the side of rivers and stuff like that. And how they got there in the first place, I'm not sure. I'm always a bit suspicious when you see things like that. I think, well, have they actually put it there, you know? But basically he used to take these things, take the circuit boards out and that, and then just blast them with an hose pipe. You know, to clean all the mud and crap and dead spiders and things out of it. Then obviously let it dry, and then he went from there. But it didn't do any permanent damage. I think the key is not to have any electricity flowing through anything when you do it. So make sure there's no batteries or anything in anything that you do that with, and no capacitors that might still be charged up or anything like that. But other than that, I guess you can wash a circuit board with its components on. I guess you can put it in water, yeah. It seems counterintuitive, but I think you can do it. The thing is, you just have to make sure it was dry again before it started to rust. And things can start rusting very, very, very quickly after they've been wet, you know, within a couple of hours sometimes. Ask people who do shot blasting. They'll tell you within a day the thing they've shot blasted starts to rust again. But yeah, so I guess you can actually clean circuit boards with water. Yeah. Dominic's joined us a little bit late today. Evening, Dominic. Where it says, I was meaning the stubborn earpiece. Right, okie dokie. Yeah, we've got a phone or two, as you may have noticed there. So, what else has been happening this week? Not a lot, to be honest with you. It's been relatively quiet this week while I get used to the electric car. Also, this is a good time to tell you no live show next week. There won't be a live show next Sunday, but there might be a video or a stream or something some point over the holiday weekend, but there will not be the normal live show on Sunday next week, because I'm out and about with a stationary engine next week. Where am I? I'm at Cronkite Mill in Derbyshire next Sunday afternoon. If you want to come down and see us, just make sure you stay 2 meters away. I'll have my big stick out and everything, because COVID has not gone away. In fact, I know somebody who's caught it basically yesterday. She rang me up today and said, I've got COVID, I'm in bed and I can't move, and apparently she's quite ill with it as well. You know what they say about this Omicron variant isn't as bad? Well, this person I know who's got it, you know, apparently she's quite ill with it. Not ill enough to go to hospital, but ill enough that she literally cannot function, that she's had to take to her bed and everything. Dominic says, any more gardening? Yes, Dominic. Tomato plants are growing, pepper plants are growing, both bell peppers and chili peppers. The lawn has started to grow. Where the potatoes were last year, we've turned it into a lawn now. So I sprinkled some grass seed on it, and that has just started to grow this last week. So yes, well, next time you go up the garden, you'll see a change in the garden. The camera that I used to use, the little mobile camera, where I could take you from here and take you for a little walk up the garden and back again. The app that makes that function, the app has stopped functioning for some reason. So I need to get that working again. Then I can take you outside, because it is light outside now. Even now it is still daylight outside. I'm quite impressed. So that's good, isn't it? I always like it when the light nights come. You get so much more done. Penfold says, Death of a Potato, the Andy's Shed Gardening Show. Yes. Gambo says, happy Easter to everyone, as I'm working next Sunday anyway, so I would have missed all you peeps anyway next Sunday. Oh, you see, Gambo, we schedule them just for you. So yeah, but I say we're not live next Sunday, but somewhere over the weekend there will probably be a video coming out that will have a chat on it, probably, because it'll be done as like a premiere thing. So even if I'm not here, if you guys all gather, you'll be able to talk to each other. Right, I think that is probably almost as far as we go for today. Just time to tell you all the normal stuff, of course, about the website, which is here somewhere. andyshed.coldpress.net is the website, and also remember we've got a forum. gpotelephones.proboards.com is the forum. Now, somebody did get in touch with me last week, sorry I've forgotten who it was, and said that they couldn't register on the forum. I've had a look into this issue, and it may be something to do with the browser that you're using. You have to allow cookies and things in your browser. Cookies and Java are the things that your browser needs. So if you're having trouble registering on the forum, this is not logging in, this is registering for a new person. If you're having trouble registering, then try a different browser and you may find it will work. I had trouble with Firefox, although I have used Firefox previously to register, but I had trouble with Firefox. Then I used something called Chromium, which is not Google Chrome, it's something similar but not, and the Chromium worked. So just try a different browser if you're having trouble registering on the forum. But the forum is there, gpotelephones.proboards.com. And remember, if you like what you do here and you want to help support the show, as I know many of you do already, then we have a Patreon site, www.patreon.com/AndyShed. And from just the equivalent of £1 a month, you can support the show there. And thanks to, as I say, to all those people who do already support us on Patreon. Their names will be coming up momentarily. Oh, Gambo says, looking forward to the chocolate, Dominic. Chocolate? Who's got chocolate? Oh, because it's Easter. Is that what you mean, chocolate? You know, I've not had an Easter egg for years and years and years. But I do have cream eggs. You know, Cadbury's cream eggs don't count as Easter eggs, do they? I don't think a Cadbury's cream egg counts as an Easter egg. What does everybody else think? But for years and years and years, I did not realise that Cadbury's cream eggs are technically Easter eggs. For years and years, I didn't realise. I thought they were just like a funny shaped chocolate bar type thing. I don't associate Cadbury's cream eggs really with Easter. You know, to me an Easter egg is a big chocolate hollow thing that you break and there's something inside it. That's an Easter egg. Or maybe that's a Kinder egg, which is also not an Easter egg. Dominic says he's looking forward to his Easter eggs too. Yeah, I wouldn't go out and buy a blooming Easter egg, I think. Yeah. Go out and buy an Easter egg. I might have to go in a shop. Oh, no, can't go in a shop. No. Too dangerous to go in the shop. Dominic says, didn't they change the formula of cream eggs recently? I don't know. They do seem not as nice as they used to be. They seem a bit sugary and sickly now, and that they weren't before. So yeah, maybe they have changed something about them. I've probably been eating something for years and years and years that you're now banned from eating for some reason. Wesley says you never used to be able to get them once Easter was over, only at Easter. I think that's still the case. They disappear, don't they? But I think it takes them a while after Easter to disappear. I think they kind of disappear when they've used all the stocks up for that year. They don't just disappear immediately after Easter. They just disappear when they've sold them all, I think. Wesley says they changed the chocolate in the cream egg, if he recalls. Did they? Oh. I just said it was the inside bit that changed, but yeah. I don't know. I haven't noticed the chocolate being different. But if they did it over a period where they weren't available, you're not as likely to notice if you've not had one for months and months and months, are you? So, I don't know. How have we got onto this subject anyway? Ian says, cream eggs are not Easter eggs. Unless it's a 10-pack. That may count. I totally agree, Ian. I totally agree. Although some would argue there's more chocolate in a cream egg than there is in an Easter egg these days. Because these days when you get an Easter egg and you break an Easter egg, the chocolate is like a monomolecular layer around the outside. The days of thick chocolate on Easter eggs that you have to hit with a hammer to break them are long gone. I do remember when I was a kid being given a black magic Easter egg and literally having to hit it with a hammer to break it. Wesley says, talking of eggs, I got the first egg of the year from my hens today. Congratulations, Wesley. I didn't know you'd got hens. Used to have ducks here a few years ago. But, congratulations on the hens. My friend April's got hens in America. And she's got 3 extra ones now because when she was driving to work the other day, she found 3 hens walking about on the road. And apparently it's not the first time it's happened. It happened some months ago as well. And because she works in a vet, because she's like a vet nurse, she stopped and scooped these hens up. Because she's out in Alabama in America and she drives across the middle of nowhere. It's not like here where somebody's hens come walking down their driveway out the farmyard sort of thing into the middle of the road and then maybe go back home again. It's like these hens were properly in the middle of nowhere, and she thinks they're falling off the back of trucks that are taking them to God knows where. But because she found like this broken crate that looked like it dropped off the back of a truck with a load of hens in a few months ago, and she rounded those hens up, and I think she ended up taking them home, and she got pet hens now, and she found 3 more the other day. I think the same one happened again. So yeah. But why do American hens lay white eggs and British hens lay brown eggs, and how do they know? That's what I want to know. Wesley says, I think the cream egg change debacle a few years ago was a cunning way of getting people to buy them to see what had changed. Good point, Wesley. It may have been. No such thing as bad publicity, is there? Particularly when you're selling something. My hens are in lockdown, says Wesley. I kid you not. They have to be undercover by law due to avian flu. Do all hens have to be undercover by law then, or is it just yours? Now, surely not all hens can be undercover, can they? Because there's farms with thousands of them on. And you see fields full of hens. And in Norfolk you go and see fields full of hens and fields full of turkeys and fields full of ducks as well. Penfold says, why did these hens cross the road in the USA? Get to the other side, Dominic. Yes. Now, I don't think they actually crossed the road. I think they bounced along the road, from what I can gather, until the crate broke. So yeah, I will ask her how the hens are doing, and I'll report back on the state of the hens. F says, it must be difficult to make your hens wear masks. Yeah. Yeah, the beak could poke a hole in it, wouldn't it? It's DEFRA rules, apparently. Do all hens have to be undercover? Do all birds have to be undercover then? having said that, there is somebody up the road here who's got hens, and although their hens are like outside in like a cage type thing, I have noticed they've put a solid roof on it just recently. What's the avian flu? What's the problem then? Is it stuff dropping from birds that are flying over that you've got to guard against? Have you got to just have a roof over their head, or have you got to have them in a shed? So would a parasol do, sort of thing, to cover your hens up? Just think about it. A hen walking along with a parasol. Just think about that. Where it says they're meant to be separated from wild birds. These ones up the road certainly can't be separated from wild birds, because it's like netting, and a little bird would go through the holes in the netting. I'm not sure how does that work if you've got free range hens on a farm then? Or are we being scammed by these supermarkets that say these are free range eggs? Actually they're not. They're from hens that have been kept in a shed all the time. We just put free range on the box to make you buy them. Dominic says, is Cronkite Mill near the station? I don't think I'll be in the area next week, but I would be interested to go and see the mill at some point. Cronkite Mill is... Yes, it is relatively near the station, because the station's not actually really sort of on the main road bit of Cronkite. The station's round the back, so yes, it is. Yeah, come out of the station and head towards Cronkite Crossroads and you'll pass the mill. Yeah, the mill is on your right hand side, the car park for the mill, and Cronkite Canal, the sort of wharf thing of Cronkite Canal, is on your left hand side as you walk up towards Cronkite Crossroads. Miguel says, how do you get pics on the forum? You just add them. There should be a little button that will allow you to add them. Yeah, you upload. There should be a little button, and you actually upload them to the forum. It should be possible to do it. Have a go. If you can't do it, drop me an email, andy@coldpress.net, and I will send you the instructions back by return if you can't do it. But yeah, there should be a little icon or something. You know, when you type in a thing on the forum, there should be a little icon or something that you can click to add a file. Then make that file a picture, and it'll upload, and then it'll show you a little bar, I think, that says insert picture, and then you have to insert it where you want to put it in your post. So it's a two-step process. You have to upload it first and then insert it where you want it, I believe. It's a while since I've done it. You can't remember you've not got it in front of you. What's happening at Cronkite Mill, says he, and I must have missed that. It's just, I don't know what it is actually. It's some sort of an event that they've got on for Easter, and there's a small group of us go with stationary engines, you know, Lister engines and things like that. There's already been 2 of these events this year, and I've missed them both. So I shall be going to the one next weekend, and the following week after Cronkite, there's an event further up Buxton Way, you know, go up the A6 and keep going at a place called Parsley Hay in the middle of nowhere. But unless you've got a car, you've got no chance at Parsley Hay. It really is in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it says, why can't I just pick them up from my photos? Sounds complicated. Because you have to upload them. It's not drag and drop, because it's a web-based thing, so it's not just drag and drop. You do have to like upload them. Jim says, Andy, put a post on the forum explaining how to add an image. I thought I already had, Jim, to be honest with you. Let me have a little look at it. Just bear with me 1 second, and I will try to have a look at it. Right, let's have a little look. Right, on the forum, right, there is a post on how to do it. Right, can I link the forum onto here? Just bear with me a sec. Right. Okie dokie. Right, we will see if we can do this now then for you. Just a second. Right, so on the forum, right, you should now be able to see the forum, I'm hoping. You should, that is basically the home page of the forum as you log in. Oh, hang on, all sorts of weird things popping up now. Get off. Yeah, that should be the home page of the forum. That you've got there. Yeah, you can see it, can't you? Click on general discussion. So third thing down on the general board, general discussion, and scroll down, and there's a thread, how to upload photos to the forum. Shall I sticky that thread so it ends up at the top? I can't sticky it from there, I don't think. But that one, how to upload photos to the forum. Will it let me sticky it? No, I don't think you can stick in old thread. But there it is anyway. How to upload photos to the forum. So I'll show you again. So from the main home page, general discussion, look for how to upload photos to the forum there, and it tells you how to do it. So each photo that you upload has to be less than 1 megabyte in size, otherwise it just blocks the forum up and stops it working. It gets all bunged up if they're too big. So make sure your photos are each under 1 meg in size, and you can only upload 3 in each post, so up to 3 meg of photos in each post. So if you've got like 6 photos, you've got to do a post and then immediately do another post with another 3 in. It's all to stop spam bots and things posting stuff. So it's got to be less than 1 meg each photo, and you can only put 3 in one post. If you want to upload more, you'll need to create more than 1 post in the same thread. Okay. So first up, so if you're starting a new thread, you will need to create it. So you click Create Thread, which you'll find at the top right on your desktop. Then enter the subject of your thread and any text in the relevant parts of the window. A box will pop up with Add Files. Click it to add a file from your desktop, and then a window will open with your desktop so you can get the right file. Click Insert, and you'll see a bit of code has appeared where you want the image to go in your thread. When you've finished inserting the photos, click Done. Have a look at your photos, go to the bottom of the window and click Preview. So I know this sounds complicated, but it's really not. In fact, I'll show you how not complicated it is. We'll have a go, shall we? I will, on the end of this thread, right there, right, let's have a go. So let's go home, yeah, and we'll put it in general discussions, and we'll go, so we'll start a new thread, don't we? So create thread, testing photos, yeah. This is a test of inserting a photo, and all you do is add attachment there, or I think you can click there, insert image, but it asks you for the image URL. So if your photo is uploaded somewhere else on the internet, you just put your image URL in there. But mine isn't, let's say. So you go add attachment, yeah, 0 to 3 files, 1 megabyte max per attachment, add a file, yeah. So we've just got to look for a picture to add. So what shall I add? I'll add that for the radio station, that thing for the radio station. So there's your picture. You just open it, and see it's well under a megabyte. It's only 106k basically. So there's your picture. It's now uploaded, and you go insert, yeah, and click done to hide that window, and it's added that attachment there. Look, you see. So click preview now, and it will show you how your thread is going to look, yeah. So if you're happy with that, then you go create thread, and there it is with the picture in it. So I don't think I can make it any simpler than that. The thing is, a lot of forums make you upload photos externally to the forum and then link to them, and I always find that a real pain. So this has been done so you upload the photos actually to the forum. So there you have it. So I'll click that there, and I think I can delete it somewhere. Maybe it's in admin. Anyway, I'll delete it later. I'll figure out how to do it. But the bit you need basically is there. General discussion. How to upload a photo to the forum, and then it takes you through it step by step, and it shows you screenshots of what you should be seeing at that moment in time. I hope that makes sense, just in case it doesn't. Is that alright? Why can't it be like other forums, much easier? That's dead easy. I've never found a forum that's easier than this one. Never found a forum that's easier. Other forums make you upload to an external site like PhotoBucket or something like that, and then they make you import the imagery from something like PhotoBucket. Or you have to pay a lot of money for the forum software, and if that was the case, you'd be paying about 50 quid a year to be a member of the forum or something like that, which we don't really want to have to do. So that's the easiest way we can suss it. But it's there anyway. How to upload a photo. So you should be able to do it from there. But as I said before, if you're having problems, chances are it's down to your browser, because not all browsers play ball nicely. In a perfect world they should, but there's so much security nonsense built into web browsers these days. I always turn off all the security features that I can on a browser. If it says security or something, turn it off. I always turn it all off, because if it won't let you do JavaScript, and if it won't let you have cookies and things like that, then it can play havoc with the way forums work, because forums have to remember sort of who you are and what your files are on the forum and that, for you to log in and stuff like that. So it's quite difficult with forums. Like I say, if you're having a load of hassle with it, change your browser and try a different browser, and it'll probably solve it. Right, okie dokie, crack it, it's 8:15. I'll be turning back into a pumpkin soon, I will. Right, that is about as far as we go for today. Thanks to everybody for taking part once again. And my little suckery thing worked as well. Nobody mentioned my little suckery thing, did they? it's a bit of the Christmas decorations that didn't get put away. Little sucker that stick Christmas decorations onto the window. And I thought, I can use that instead of sticky tape to get the things off the phones. And it does work. So, that is that. I say, we'll not be here next week because I'm out at Cronkite Mill, all being well, staying socially distanced from everybody. I'll have my 2 metre long stick keeping people back, and then hopefully we will be back the following week. But the following week the time might be slightly different, so we're back in 2 weeks' time with a live show, but it may start a bit later in 2 weeks' time. I'm not sure yet. It's a bit far in advance for me to be able to work things out, that is. To be honest, tomorrow's a bit far in advance for me to be able to work things out. Anyway, thanks to everybody who's taken part. As Dominic says in the chat, have a lovely Easter. Watch out for more non-live videos coming out soon, hopefully, and also some stuff coming up for the patrons as well on their private Patreon stream thingy. Right, I am off now to wash the pots. Well, at least these other 3 telephones. But for now, until next time, have a great week, fortnight ahead, whatever it may be, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.